What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about others today. We're going to talk about altcoins as a whole. For those of you that don't know, the others chart is essentially the crypto index for altcoins, right? It's the top 125 coins, excluding the top 10. So you take the top 10 coins out of the equation, the rest, the next 115 down to the top 125. That's what we have. It's the total market cap encapsulating this, right? So this chart, it's not cut and dried, this simple. But if you see a day like this where it says 12%, you can assume the average coin went up 12%. Maybe it went up 10%, maybe it went up 14%. Some coins will outperform, some coins will underperform, but the average coin is probably moving up that much, right? If you take a low to a high here from April 7th to May 12th, the average coin went up 69%. If you have a coin that outperformed that, you've got a top performer. If you have a coin that didn't do as well as that, you've got something that might be being left behind. Or maybe it's a sleeper and it'll wake up soon. But the point of this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, is to figure out what the average coin's going to do now between now, the 15th of June, and about this time, if not later in July. What this next leg up in the market is going to look like effectively. If that sounds good to you, let's get into it. Again, hit that like button and let's go, okay? $240 billion now. That's the total market cap of everything outside the top 10 from the top 125, excluding the top 10, right? Looking at this here, I want to look on the 1 hour time frame first and just zoom out. We'll make quick work of this, okay? I just want to see if we have found a relative low. I'm going to get rid of the volume because it's probably not going to help us, okay? I'm just going to mute that. It's just a distraction. 1 hour time frame does look bullishly charged, yes. We're doing some bullish things right now. We're not rejecting the 50. We're not just rejecting the 60 and getting to the oversold zone. We're actually ping-ponging in this area, living above the 50 right now. I think we are going to get overbought. We have how many hours left in this day? 6 hours, 24 minutes. I think that the market as a whole will start to make strides higher to the end of the day. We might even be breaking out of this relative consolidation phase. So getting us set up, yes, for some continuation to the upside next week. It kind of looks like we have a BART pattern here, and it might be more visible on a 4 hour time frame. Doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a BART pattern? BART patterns, they like move down like this. You get the Bart Simpson head, and then you move back up. It's a BART pattern, inverse BART pattern, bullish BART pattern, whatever. You look at the 4 hour time frame. Bullish divergence. You've got a lower low here on a closing point, higher low here on a closing point, so lower low right there, higher lows in the RSI, bullish divergence to mark the low. You kind of have like a triple bottom look here, which I think is very, very, oftentimes triple bottoms are pretty ugly. Whether you want to call that a triple bottom or not, I think that's a triple bottom right there, and it looks like we're probably going to move up. You got the bullish BART, you got the triple bottom, you got bullish divergence on the 4 hour time frame, and the 1 hour starting to look bullish. It makes sense that between now and the end of the day and going into next week, we're probably going to see some continuation. If we break out of this range to the upside, where are we going to go? Let's answer that. So looking at the daily time frame, we break out of that little range. We're probably going to be moving up to the top of this overall range that we've been in since like May 12th, right? And once we break out of that, which will probably happen going into the end of next week, this coming week here between now and the 22nd of June and the end of the month, we should be breaking out and expanding to higher readings across the board. So the average coin, in my opinion, is looking like they want to go up. We can also see this reflected in the RSI because you're showing predominantly bullish readings and less so on the bearish readings, right? Here we are. If we close today green, and I think that we will across the board, we're going to bounce off the 40. That's a bullish setup in itself. We're getting overbought. We're not getting oversold. That's a bullish setup in itself. The overall environment that we're in right now, the majority of the reading is above the 50, right? We're seeing stronger readings. We're not living below the 50 as long as we are above the 50, right? Bullish, very bullish environment right now. And then of course, all this in itself, it looks like a move. It looks like a move up. You got your downward sloping consolidation phase, and then we're going to move up higher. It's classic, very, very classic stuff here. If we take a low to a high, just to validate on the fibs, bouncing off the 0.5, everything under the sun, stocks, cryptos, whatever, for some reason over the last year, they've been respecting their 0.5 on the fibs, and that's good enough for me, man. I think that that's exactly what we're seeing here. Oftentimes, if you find significance on the 0.5, you get significant moves as a result, and I think pairing that with a bounce off the 40, I mean, the last time we bounced off the 40 was over here, and that sent us up higher over the days and weeks to come. Looking at this now on the weekly time frame, you can see that we've been consolidating, right? And again, this is kind of the average chart. If you look at your coin on a weekly time frame, I would assume that the average coin looks something like this. You've been in a volatile consolidation range since March of 2024, essentially, right? Most altcoins are not at new all-time highs, but they are, overall higher than where they were during their bear market lows, right? I know that this altcoin market has been rather discouraging. It's been rather boring. We haven't really made any headway over the past year and a half or so, but we're getting there, man. We are definitely getting there. And I think if we look at this for what it is, I think what this is a diamond pattern, and we've broken out of it to the top side. We're back testing now. We're probably going to rip to the upside. Diamond patterns, whenever you break out of them, whether it's a diamond or not, I kind of see it. Can you see it? They're known for high velocity moves. And I think this move will indeed be high velocity. We look at the weekly RSI. You can see here, again, getting overbought, not getting oversold. You spent a good bit of time below the 50 and above the 50. You know, it's tit for tat. There's some bearish things about it, but there's more bullishness going on with this RSI than there is bearishness, right? The strongest readings you have are deep in the overbought zone. Even when you're in full bearish effect, you're at the weakest you can be, you're not even touching the oversold zone. That's a bullish environment to be in, my friends, okay? Looking at this here, taking the fib from the cycle highs last cycle, November 2021, to the cycle lows of the bear market in December 2022. We're ping-ponging around this area, getting higher highs, higher lows still. We're in a bullish phase of consolidation. Absolutely we are. And now, right here, the 618 is the golden ratio. We're finding support on that. I think this is a good launch pad to launch off of, for lack of a better word, and move up higher to our next target areas. Where are our next target areas? They're at about the 1272 to the 1618. Anything and everything in between goes. My expectation is that the others chart by the end of July will be somewhere in this area. Okay, somewhere in this area. And I don't think that it stops there. I think going into August, September, October, November, we're also going to be growing and moving up higher. But my expectation is that this next move is going to be more bullish than anything we've seen since 2021. We're going to get something like this. Week after week, we're just moving up. It's going to seem like a straight line, man. And maybe not every altcoin is going to move up in a straight line, but just as a market as a whole, we're going to be moving up very, very fast. It's going to blow everything out of the water as far as an upside move goes that we've seen since 2022. This is going to be rapid. It's going to be fast. It's going to feel like a straight line up, and it's going to be a hell of a time. So get ready, guys. I don't think that we stop at 1.65 trillion as a whole. I don't think we stop at 838 billion as a whole. I think we stop somewhere in between that 1414. Typically with the 1414, what you'd expect is that you wick just above it. You don't stop right at it. I wonder if we even have that here, high to low. Let's see. No, you actually just missed the 1272 there, to be fair. You just missed the 1272 there. So that's actually not a good example of what I was talking about, but that's okay. Sometimes unideal or less likely things do happen. These are all statistics, right? It's all statistical probabilities. It's not a guarantee, right? We're just playing off of what the normality is. From here, the minimum target would be the 1272. This would imply that the average altcoin is going to see about a 3.4x by the end of this next phase up, which I think will be in July, right? I think that'll be in July. I think we're going to move up. The average altcoin is going to move between where it is now and it'll do a 3.4, 3.5x between now and the end of July. We're going to see a rapid expansion in this, okay? If not there, you're not stopping there only because you're going higher. I wouldn't think that you stop at the 1414. Typically with the 1414, you actually go just above it, but let's entertain the thought of something strange where instead of stopping above the 1414, instead of stopping at it, which are the most two common outcomes, maybe you stop below it, the least common outcome. But you could stop below it because $1 trillion in market cap valuation on this chart, that is a psychological area of resistance. It might make a lot of sense to actually stop there. So while we do have this 3.4x, let's call it a 3.5x, we'll just round up 3.5x across the board at a minimum, I think there's a solid chance where we could see something right around $1 trillion, which would be about a 4.2x as a given potential target as well. Not the maximum, but a given target. So 2.5, 4.2x. If you're invested in crypto and you're looking at a coin and you don't believe that it has 3.5 to 4.2x. I don't know if I had these words right. I got the numbers confused. My daughter was talking. I got all distracted. But a 3.5 to a 4.2x. If you don't believe that your altcoin can do that between now and the end of July, what are you doing? This is the standard. This is the standard, right? When you're invested in crypto right now, you've been given the standard. You should look for something that can at least give you a 3.5x, if not a 4x or more. If it's not doing that, if you don't see that as a possibility between now and the end of July, you're setting yourself up to be outperformed, which is fine. Everything's going to move up. Everything's going to make money. But why settle for something that's going to do a 2x or a 3x? 3.5x is the minimum. 4x is probably the standard that we would expect. And if you hit the 1-for-1 and you behave normally with this, I would even say that a 5x is the standard, right? Me personally, all the coins I'm looking at, I'm not looking at them if they're not 5x capable. If you don't have 5x capabilities or more, what's the purpose? And then at the maximum potential, which I don't see this happening. I think there's going to be plenty of coins that do this and more, but I don't see this happening across the space. I don't think this will be the average performance, but maybe. Maybe we see some kind of immaculate alt boom. It's just an alt season rally, and we do get a 6 to 7x growth between now and the end of July across the board. Inevitably, we'll get there. Inevitably, we'll get there, and we'll get higher, right? I think the average altcoin by the end of this cycle, we will see this others chart run all the way up to the 2272, which is right around $6 trillion. I think the average altcoin will see something on the lines of a 25x. But for the standard for between now and the end of July, I think a 5x or more. I mean, for me, I'm pretty aggressive, right, with my aspirations. 3x at a minimum, sure. 3.5x at a minimum, sure. But I think 5x or more, if it doesn't have that potential, it doesn't entice me. No offense, it doesn't entice me at all. And there are plenty of opportunities in the space that have 5x potential or more. We talk about them all the time in this channel. If you're new, go to my videos and just look at like the last 8 videos that I've made. They're probably all 5x or more capable, right? Like genuinely, I don't really like to talk about coins unless they have above average performance standard capabilities, right? I'm expecting we go to the 2272 by the end of the cycle. This implies that the average coin between now and with the 2272, like the 1414, you don't actually stop at the 2272 most of the time. You actually go just above it. So going just above it, right? 5.9 trillion. I'm putting it at like 6.4 trillion, whatever. That would put us at like a 25 to a 27x, maybe let's say a 25 to 30x, right? If you're holding a coin, and let me say this again, right? I'm giving you two standards, 3.5 to 5x between now and the end of July. If it's anything less than that, you've got a loser or you've got an underperformer. What's the point? Get in something else. Get in something that's outperforming the markets or at least hitting that standard. Between now and the end of the cycle, the standard is 25 to 30x. If you're holding a coin and you don't believe that it has 25 to 30x capabilities, you're holding a loser. You're holding something, and I mean, maybe you're not. Bitcoin's not going to do a 25 to a 30x by the end of the cycle, right? So in that kind of aspect, Bitcoin's a winner. It's always a winner. So that might not be fair to all of them, but anything outside the top 10, anything outside the top 100, if it's not doing a 25 to 30x, doesn't interest me. If you don't have those prospects, get out of my way. I don't care. It's not. You don't interest me at all. I don't want to look at you. I think that we're going to go to a $6 trillion market cap on the others chart, the top 125 coins. We're going to see immaculate growth between now and the end of this cycle. When will that be? That's the hardest question to answer. For a long time, I thought that it would be between now and the end of this year. I'm actually starting to think that this cycle really could extend into 2026, Q1 or even Q2 of 2026. I really am, because all of the macroeconomic conditions that tend to inflate the bull market and give us some real momentum, and we have a nice rally for months and months at a time, like 6 months or more. They haven't really fired off yet. And here we are in June. I said 6 months or more, right? Like 6 months from now is December. They haven't fired off yet. What if they start firing off in July? Well, that could be Q1. We really could. And what if it's a little bit less than 6 months? What if it's a little bit more than 6 months? What if it's larger than that? What if we see more consistent growth, and it just takes longer to achieve? We have these little bursts of bullish momentum, and then we consolidate for a long time, as we've been doing this whole cycle. This cycle's been very constructive. We're not having that parabolic blow off top movement like we've seen historically with Bitcoin and with the rest of crypto. I really do believe that this cycle could persist into 2026. I've only recently gotten comfortable saying that. If we were like euphoric right now, if we were through the roof and seeing new all-time highs across the board, and I was saying that, that's how you know that was just a hopium. I'm coping. I'm hoping that we just go in, I'm just euphoric. But the fact that this market's been so precise and concise and just stair-stepping its way up, we've never seen this kind of constructive behavior in this kind of fashion with crypto across the board. So genuinely, even if we're not at a 25 to a 26x, 30x, whatever, by the end of this year, we could see this happen going into like Q1 or Q2. I would think Q4 of 2025 to Q1 of 2026 is what I would expect the average altcoin does as far as achieving its highs, right? Some coins will top off before. There's always coins that top off before. Some coins will top off after. There are always coins that are late bloomers too. But the average coin, I think, will see something on the lines of a 25 to a 30x between now and the end of the cycle. You've got 3.5x to 5x potential for the average coin between now and the end of July. Buckle up, Buttercup. We're about to hit the rocket ship. We're about to go to the moon, man. And maybe even to Mars for some people. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, all right? Happy Father's Day. Bye-bye.